readers,
reviewers,
countrymen,
lend us your ears. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreons.
Thank you to the Pit Fighters, the First Swords, and all of the Bright Stars, Truth and Courage. You're back again to watch more of the Brothers Gwyn, talking about our favourite
Bit of
reads.
an aggressive start.
Sorry,
you're back.
And you're where you should be. You're where you belong. Okay, in our safe arms. No, that sounds strange.
Let's carry on with the video.
I'll release you, and this is the part 2 of our favourite reads of the year. These reads are the pinnacle of 2023. So if you're in this, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many books did you read last year?
76.
I don't know.
Promise?
If I include all the essays I read.
That is really good. I'm hoping for 70 this year, but yeah, cool.
You read a lot more than me. Just say your number. Just say it.
107.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. Not quite as many as the year
He's
before.
got-
I sound like Dudley. Don't know. Last year there were 33. But yeah, so let's continue talking about books, because that's what we love to do on this channel. Anyway, Will, do you want to punch us off?
Whoa, we've advanced and kicking.
Well,
my fourth favourite read of 2023 was The Prophet of Adan by Philip Chase, the second book in his trilogy. How
Will, please use his full name.
Dr. Fantasy. I knew.
That's good.
Yeah, he is a fantastic author.
Also, I've heard that Philip's going to be in the new Marvel film as a villain.
Why?
Dr. Fantasy. It sounds like a Marvel kind
Oh,
of,
it does.
like a villain.
It's a
Doom.
great name.
Yeah.
It is a great name. But I need to punish myself for not having read the third in the trilogy. What is wrong with me?
Strangle me too. Strangle me. So you do it now.
We'll do it off camera.
But it's something that you want to give like the proper
give it
time
attention,
to it, and you want
yeah.
to give it the right attention, and then you never have that attention. And but yeah, so
everything I've read in the last 3 months, the books I'm taking slowly are uni books, and the rest have been Audible. And I want to just not devour.
Yeah.
I want
Look,
to.
I'm going to say
slowly go over every single
having a baby, best thing in my life. But she takes up a lot of time. I've got to say, she takes up a lot of
Still
time.
read 107 books. You've got way too much time on your hands.
About 100 of them were before July.
Poor Iris. She needs more time given to her.
Did you know 80 of them were children's books? Okay, they were Julia Donaldson books. So.
You do not get You're just trying to overtake me on Goodreads.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my average page rating was 29. So.
Anyway, if we are on Goodreads too much, we just discovered through that. But the Prophet
Did you know my stats are? What's your average rating for 2023?
4.35.
Yeah. Really, that's pretty. It actually is.
No, it's not. I have no idea. This is no one check that. This is book 2 in his Incredible series. Well, Incredible in the 2 books I've read. This is where Philip Chase had a brilliant first instalment in The Way of Adan, where we really grew close and attached to the characters. But he
spelled
also
Whey. Way.
It's not protein.
Cheese.
Whey cheese.
Carry on.
Whey cheese.
I'll talk to you about it later.
You've really thrown me off.
Sorry.
That's really upset me.
I'm sorry.
And disrespectful to Dr. Fantasy.
Okay, carry on.
But he brilliantly lays the foundations for The Way of Adan, so that when we hit the Prophet of Adan, it just launches off. It's like a rocket. We're straight into the action, into the characters once again in the world. It gives us a little breathing room at some point to get reinvested into this world. After I read this 3-4 months after I read book 1, and then I was in, and it was incredible. What a journey. I loved The Way of Adan, and I thought, I felt very confident I was going to love The Prophet of Adan, but I was not prepared for how much more I loved this than book 1.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, and more incredible self-published fiction.
Yeah. Fantasy, no less. But yeah, the next one for me is Berserk Deluxe Edition number 3. Now, I know that people say Deluxe Edition number 4 is like where like shit hits the fan, and that's the most intense
You're a
one.
primary school teacher.
Oh, stop it, Bill. We still have fans. But yeah, so Berserk 3 for me did all of the groundwork, all of these character moments where they started to pay off, and there was some truly heartwarming moments. I found I loved Deluxe Edition number 3. a lot more than number 4. Number 4 had some weaker moments. Number 3 didn't feel like it had any weak moments at all. I am surprised by how much I am loving Berserk. You know, I've heard such great things about it, but there is such a deep level to it, and I've really, really enjoyed going through those pages. It is a story, it's an immense story, and Kentaro Miura has really crafted something quite beautiful at times. It is also horrific and disgusting and gross most of the time, but there are these rays of sunshine in there, and they are beautiful sometimes. But I love the way that he's crafted these characters. Obviously, Guts is a standout, but you have a whole cast behind him that just lend themselves to creating this marvelous series. And Berserk Deluxe Edition number 3 was my 4th favourite read of the year. I flew through it. I read it twice. I just had to go straight back to the beginning. But it was breathtaking.
Very nice, Ed. Well, read it twice.
Yeah. You honestly should try.
The first was so nice.
You would.
You had to do it twice.
All right, AJ.
So my 3rd favourite is a Western.
A Western.
Can you guess what Western?
Yeah, True Grit.
He is correct. It's True Grit. I realised I pilfered Papa Gwyn's copy, so I don't have one to show off. Which
there's one on the folio.
I need to.
It's a nice edition.
I have that. Sorry for the silence. Somewhere there's lots of special editions about. I have these.
Oh, that's a bit of a show-off sentence, isn't it? Well,
all right.
Sorry about him, guys.
But anyway,
you don't.
True Grit,
that.
Ed.
Is that my house?
What is the strength of True Grit?
The strength?
You can stop looking.
True Grit is one of the easiest books I've ever read.
What is the strength? What is your favourite part of True Grit?
Well, I don't want to give spoilers away, but the way...
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be I thought it was being great.
Oh.
Chinfro. The characters. Rooster Cogburn is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And Matty Ross is top 10 characters of all time. Labif's great as well. But so Matty Ross, I believe she's 13 years old, isn't she? Her father has died, and she is looking for she calls it justice and vengeance. Are they the same thing?
She might be the best POV character.
The dialogue is absolutely incredible, where she feels like a 13-year-old, but incredibly intelligent. You've got Hardback and
Silence of the Girls.
Yes.
What the hell?
Isn't that wonderful?
Beautiful.
Ed?
Sorry. Carry on. Sorry.
That is lovely, isn't it?
That is amazing.
Should everyone read Silence of the Girls?
Yeah.
There we go.
Why is it
See, that's what I wanted.
Sorry, okay.
Just a...
Yeah. Great.
But yeah, True Grit, absolutely incredible characters. The dialogue is fantastic, and the action sequences are really brilliant as well. There's a lot of adrenaline pumping scenes, and it really uses a lot of kind of those themes that you expect with westerns, but it feels very unique as well. And because it's scaled down,
it almost started them.
It's a very intimate story.
It is, yeah.
And it is fantastic for that.
Yeah. Watching the 2 films, they are very, very loyal to the book. But Charles Portis has written such an amazing story, and yeah, it's so much fun to read. There is so much fun. I prefer the second one because Matt Damon is great in it, and it's got Josh Brolin.
And I think what's the name of the main character, the actress?
I can't remember.
But anyway, 2 parts. I think obviously John Wayne is brilliant as Rooster Cogburn. Haley
Stein something. Steinfeld.
That's it. But yeah,
obviously
she's
Jeff Bridges
incredible.
is great, but you can't understand him. Jeff Bridges is like an older version of Tom Hardy. You just have no idea what he's saying most of the time. But he looks great.
Still recommend the film. Still recommend the book.
But the book is so much fun, but also it's like such a good starting point for a western. It doesn't feel like a western most of the time. It just feels like you're reading about these characters as they go on this very small adventure that has high
If
you
stakes. Want a nice little segue from fantasy or any other genre into a western, then
try The Hunters by David Ragg, and then try True Grit.
Exactly, and I think Matthew Harvey might be coming out with some westerns this year.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes.
Oh, it's been a while since we said that. But anyway, that's my 3rd favourite read of 2023.
Number 3 for me was actually my last read of 2023, and there is no recency bias here because oh my goodness, if I read this on day 1 of the year, it would have still been number 3, and it is There by Tommy Orange. Now, There is about a Native American community. I believe there are 12 POV characters. It's a small book, but it is written about this community as they all congregate at the end at this powwow. And it is amazing. Tommy Orange crafts these characters, and they are so memorable. Some of them only have 1 chapter from them, but you remember every single detail about them. and he paints this community with just wonderful prose, with these amazing passages about their lives, these kind of connotations to what has happened to them in their past, as well as these, this foreshadowing, and you feel like the ending is going to, you feel like this kind of drumbeat of dread within you, and the ending is a masterpiece in how to write, tension, essentially. Tommy Orange is, I think, going to become one of my favourite authors. If his next book, which comes out in March, is going to be amazing, and the next book that comes out in March is actually about survivors of the Sand Creek massacre in the mid-19th century, which was a pivotal moment for Native American history. But yeah, Tommy Orange is a Native American, and the way he writes is just absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to read what he does next. But yeah, there is just a book that I'd recommend to everyone. I'm hoping to do a longer video about it soon, and just kind of go into detail about my thoughts about the characters, and yeah, hopefully do that in the next few months. It'll be really cool.
Very nice, Ed. And my second favourite now. So we'll do our second favourites of 2023, and then we'll name some honourable mentions. But my second favourite read of the year is Dreaming of the Hound by Amanda Scott, the third instalment of the Boudica Quartet.
Really? That was your favourite of the series?
I haven't read book 4.
I know.
And book 1 was my my favourite book of 2022. I read it, finished it on the final day of 2022. So I preferred this over book 2. I might...
Book 1's the best.
I'm not sure.
Book 2's great.
They're so close.
Oh, the ending.
But these two are clear of book 2. Book 1 and book 3 are clear of book 2, in my opinion.
I think the endings are both stronger than book 2, and that's why I think this book, oh my goodness, the ending
is incredible. It's a true story, obviously, with historical leniencies.
What's it about? Because people might not have heard about it.
Boudica, a famous chieftain, leader, who fought the Romans, named by many as the first great British leader, which obviously there's a lot of debate about that. But yeah, Boudica is remembered for that, her stand against the Romans, who everyone hates, and for good reason. Sorry, Alan. Sorry, we know you love the Romans, but yeah,
I bet Alan, if you read this,
if Alan reads this, he will hate the Romans as well.
Mind you, there are some that you like.
Yeah, what is so brilliant about this is it's not one-sided. Oh, you've got the good people and the bad people. The Romans have many evil, disgusting people there who you just want to be killed horribly. Yeah. But then they've got some people who you're really rooting for and you hope survive. Because this is a book filled with death, and more death, especially to the characters that you love. Pain, and more pain.
Nice.
Yeah, and Dreaming the Hound, I can't say too much more without spoilers, but Amanda Scott has a brilliant approach to prose where it feels really fluid, so immersive. It is rare that I've read a historical fiction book that feels so authentic. In a way that really engages you but doesn't leave you feeling kind of alienated in such a different world. And
I feel like there's really a lot of fantastical elements to this series that, as a fantasy reader myself, loved seeing, because it made... Obviously, these cultures, these historical figures throughout history, they didn't have, obviously, the science that we have today. So everything they believed. Yeah. And... this book paints those things as real.
It really explores the cultural aspects.
That is one of my favourite parts of it.
Yeah, and it is absolutely brilliant, and that is why it is so immersive. Yeah. And then the characters on top of that, just exceptional. If you're an aspiring writer and you want to kind of read books that really know how to craft characters within just a few pages that you immediately feel attached to in one way or another, then this should be a study for that.
100%. Number 2 for me, The Prophet of Adan by Dr. Philip Chase, Mr. Fantasy.
Mr.
And yeah, I loved reading this book. Now, I loved The Way of Adan, but reading this was even more of a joy. I don't know why I always say I love this, but I love this more, because The Way of Adan was absolutely superb. This book just built on what Philip did so well in book 1. And I absolutely loved it. We have new POVs, we have a much broader world, we have the magic getting more intense, the battles are written with even more grandeur, we have these character moments that pay off so well, because you're really starting to get to grips with them, but you're starting to really become completely invested in them. And the only series that I've ever kind of compared to this trilogy so far is The Faith and the Fallen. And if you guys know me, I'm Papa Gwyn's son. Hi. And but yeah, reading The Faith and the Fallen, that is the most important series to me, and it has this layer of heart to it. And the Adan trilogy is the only series really that I think, to me, has that element of heart to it as well. You know, it has love at the forefront, and it has, you know, passion. And something that I love about Philip's writing is that he has the same inspirations as, you know, what we love reading in our family. And that's why we were so lucky to have read The Way of Adan before it even came out. And we did a chat with Philip because he wanted to, you know, he knew that we had kind of the same inspirations behind, you know, the same kind of core to us, and our reading canon was similar. So The Prophet of Adan, my second favourite book of the year, one of my favourite fantasy books ever, and I cannot wait to read book 3. I said I was going to read it in December. I'm a fool. I'm sorry, Philip. But I promise it will be getting the time and dedication that it deserves very, very soon.
Exactly.
I am so excited to read it. It's just, life gets in the way. But yeah, I can't wait. Prophet of Adan, one of my favourite books.
Time is the enemy.
My second favourite book of the year. And thank you, Philip, for this.
Thank you, Philip. And now on to some honourable mentions, which I'll fly through very, very quickly. First up, I have Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. This is different. Well, there we go. This is different from.
Copy, by the way. You got a rip in it.
Yeah, I meant to send it back because it arrived like that, and then I forgot to send it back.
Is it from the Broken Binding?
No.
Do you do a
we would never.
Broken Binding?
Why would you have me? That didn't even get that from Broken Binding.
No, I know. That was when you say no because they don't deliver bad books.
Yeah, the Broken Binding only deliver top-notch, supreme books with
Agreed.
amazing delivery and amazing
special editions as well.
Special
Ages.
edition galore.
Yellow
Face by R.F. Kuang. She usually writes fantasy, as she's written the Poppy War trilogy, and then she wrote historical fantasy with Babel, which was absolutely brilliant, one of my favourite books of all time. And then she wrote Yellow Face, which is fiction set in the modern day, and the premise is that we've got a woman, she's an author, but her career isn't really lifting off, but her best friend, or who she sees as her best friend, is an incredible author who is incredibly successful and famous. She goes for a meal with her, hasn't seen her for a while. She's go back to this woman's apartment, and this woman says, "Oh, this is my latest masterpiece. This is what I think is going to be my magnum opus." And it's a manuscript on the table, and then she dies. And
then what happens?
No, this is the premise.
And then what happens?
And then at the end, I'm joking. But yeah, that is the premise. And
so essentially, this character, the woman, then steals this book and passes it off for her own. And you see the journey as it goes through the preliminary pages, as a book does with a major publishing house, as it goes all the way down to printing, and then the reviews and all of the conferences and whatnot happen afterwards. It's a fantastic journey, I think, and it's satirical. It has a commentary on humanity, and I think R.F. Kuang, you know, it was very meta, wasn't it? But it's meant to be like that, obviously. And but it was really enjoyable. I can't say there was a word that I didn't enjoy. It was not fun, but it was like you just couldn't help but turning the page.
Oh yeah, it was just
one more chapter before bedtime, and then you realise it's 5 a.m. You've finished it. But
exactly,
great book.
Is that mine?
You
robbed my copy.
I told you I robbed it. Next one for me was Unruly by David Mitchell. William spoke about this last video, but it is a hilarious and brief summary of the English monarchs up until, I think, the late 1600s.
Until the Tudors.
Until the Tudors.
It stops with
Henry. Was it not? Did it not do Elizabeth and then Mary after as well?
It did.
I think it goes just after the Tudors.
Oh, sorry. It's he stops at Elizabeth.
Because the next one was James,
King
who was then king of whatnot. But David Mitchell was a great writer. He has this hilarious way of just approaching things and thinking about things, and he delivers this commentary on the monarchs of England in a way that is. You just feel like you're learning so much, but you're having so much fun.
Exactly, yeah.
And it feels like a fireside chat almost. And his narration of it is
fun,
superb.
educational learning.
So, go read that.
That is the good message, Ed. Next out of The Malevolent Seven by Sebastian de Castell. He's one of his 2023 releases. So this is about a group in a world which is filled with necromancers, different types of necromancers and magicians.
Necromancers.
And so we've got a character who, whilst outwardly may seem quite nasty to some people, it's a bit more complicated than that. And Sebastian's greatest strength is always his relationship between characters, isn't it? Whether they be kind of bromances, whether they be love and hate relationships, or whether they are at the same time. And so this is about a group of 7 somehow being brought together to face a threat. And it's brilliant how he does that. And I don't want to spoil anymore because the whole fun of this journey is the surprises along the way. But yeah, great read. Sebastian de Castell, awesome author, brilliant mind, and he's so witty, one of the funniest authors out there, and one of the funniest people out there in general.
True.
And that is The Malevolent Seven.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And the last one for me, honourable mention.
Oh, we've got 2 more.
I did Yellowface and I did Unruly.
This
and
is
this
your
is my
last
last honourable mention.
Sorry.
Who's Queen? And the last one for me is The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee by David Truer. Now, this is a non-fiction book, and it is writing about Native American experiences since Wounded Knee. Now, if you've heard of Dee Brown, then you would have, I'm sure you know about Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, which is probably the most famous book that, a non-fiction book anyway, that focuses on Native Americans. And I think it was written in the 70s or the 80s.
Oh, wow.
And,
I didn't know.
Yeah. It was a monumental book at the time, but there is a little bit of controversy about it, the way that it paints Native Americans as, as only the victims. It doesn't paint them as, really people. And it has perpetuated these stereotypes and made these myths almost seem true. There was another book that I read last year, which is called, I can't remember now what's it called, but is in a response to that. But this book is also in response to Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Even though that did a lot of good, this book is written by David Truer, who is a Native American, and it kind of dispels all of those myths, all of these things that people say. You see a lot of stuff on Twitter, and reading from people's experiences, you see a lot of conversations, how people kind of excuse, colonialism, especially in the Americas as well, by saying, we brought, farming to your community, we brought medicine, blah, 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 blah. David Truer just gets rid of all of that and proves everyone wrong, and has archaeological evidence. He has all of just this amazing content in here showing what the true picture is, written by a Native American, and it makes just your view completely different. And it is a fantastic book. It's split into 2 sections. It's split into one section which is Native American history from when Columbus arrived up until Wounded Knee in 1890, which is the massacre, and that's when things started to change. And then it goes from Wounded Knee up until modern day and what's happened. And seeing that journey, seeing that painting, it's like, you've got a camera and you're suddenly zooming out and you can see the whole picture in front of you. And it is just a fantastic book to read. Probably my favourite non-fiction that I've ever read. And it's a book that I would definitely like to read again. It's a book that I would definitely recommend that people read if you have any interest in history of the Americas whatsoever.
Very high praise indeed, Ed. My last honourable mention, yes, I read this year, is The Sandman Volume 1, which is book 1, I mean, because it's the first 3 volumes together. And this is what the season on Netflix is inspired by.
Is that a sticker on it?
Don't believe so.
Oh no.
I know.
Still a lovely cover though.
I wish I could just...
You could just do a selfie and cut it out and stick it on.
Fingers over it. But yeah, I love that this is Neil Gaiman's creativity let loose with no restrictions, and it's pretty weird, but glorious and genius and just absolutely thrilling to follow. And this is the first kind of graphic novel I read that isn't Old Man Logan and a few kind of Marvel comics. Yeah, and so I absolutely loved this. I love the different style. It was, as I said, utterly thrilling. And I love how all the different kind of storylines and arcs and different journeys, they link into each other in different ways. And a lot of them have a very philosophical edge to them. And yeah, it's just Neil Gaiman at his best. He's a fantastic author, and it shows that he converts this graphic novel really well. Very
nice. So, my favourite book of 2023 it was a historical fiction called Panther in the Sky by James Alexander Tom. Now, what a beautiful edition. This book is about the Shawnee Native American chief, Tecumseh, and it is an amazing book. It reminded me of Braveheart, the film. Don't get into it about the nitty-gritty, authentic details. The heart of the film, this reminded me of that. The way that these people are fighting against, kind of an overwhelming enemy, and you have these amazing characters of history. They are real people, and James Alexander Tom has a wonderful writing voice. He created here families that you felt almost as if they were your own family. I got so attached to these characters, and I will never ever forget them. It just felt so special when you were reading this. It felt like when I first opened Gates of Fire. It felt like when I first opened Dream of the Eagle. You just knew this book was going to be something for you. And Tecumseh, the main character, is written so superbly. He is a remarkable man, and it must be so hard to write a famous character of history and actually make them come across as a good-hearted but incredible human being. Look at all the people who tried to write Arthur and tried to make him as, why is he so important? It's really hard to craft a character like that. And Tecumseh is crafted so well. I think James Alexander Tom is obviously a very gifted writer. I'd love to read what other books he has written. Be absolutely fantastic.
Is this known as his magnum opus?
No, there's another book called,
Wow.
I think, Follow the River, which is considered, I think, his most popular book anyway. But yeah, I'll have to check on Goodreads. But from what I've seen, most people say that they read It Follows the River or something before they read Panther in the Sky. But yeah, this was my favourite of the year. It's something that I would love to read again in the future, and I'm sure I absolutely will. It's obviously I have a passion for Native American history, but if I didn't, this book would still be remarkable to me because reading a good book, it's not, you don't just enjoy it because you have an interest in that. A good book forces you to have an interest in it, regardless of how you felt before you read it. So that's my favourite book of the year, and hopefully some more people will pick it up, and I'd love to chat with some people about it. But yeah, my favourite.
Very nice, Ed.
And my favourite drum roll?
Yes, please. My favourite book of the year is Mayflies by Andrew Hagen. One of the first books I read this year, and there's a 2-episode adaptation
Not
as
a fantasy.
well. Not a fantasy. This is just... It's weird. When I describe it, it doesn't really get across what is brilliant about the book. It's like, when you describe Dead Poets Society?
Yes.
It's hard to get across
But
why it's so amazing.
School got a nice teacher.
Yeah.
But it's incredible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And they find solace in poetry. It sounds like, okay, that's interesting, but it's not going to change my life.
Women, but yeah.
This is similar to that. So it's a story where we follow a group of friends through their childhood, and then we jump about 20, 25 years in the future, and we see who has been brought together over that time, where they've separated, and how their lives have evolved. And it's really a lot about kind of how your childhood really molds who you are as an adult, but you can get away from that as well. And it's about the bonds of friendship that will last throughout time, and how childhood is so important for that kind of... childhood is like, we follow them as they're like teenagers, so like between that kind of 15 to 18-year-old, like really formative period. And it is absolutely beautiful, the way that this is done. I think it could have been quite easy to make this pretentious, but Andrea Hagen really does a brilliant job of making sure it's not pretentious at all. It is raw, it feels real, and it is just a beautiful journey that really made me sob at times. And it's just a fantastic exploration of friendship and the meaning of friendship and why it's so important to us all. And that is Mayflies. And it's quite short as well, so please read it. And that is Mayflies. My favourite book of 2023.
There, we did it. That was a tough task. You guys forced us to do it, really, to give you 13 books that we loved of the year. There were so many more that we loved. But look at our monthly wrap-ups to see which ones we did. But there you have it. That's our top 10 of 2023. We'll be doing many more videos, hopefully very soon, where we will be putting them out, hopefully a bit more regularly. We're going to have more plans for live streams and some chats with other booktubers as well as authors as well, and some other people as well. But just keep your eyes peeled. Please like the video and subscribe to us, and hopefully we'll see you in the comments as well.
Truth and Courage.
Truth and Courage.
The Brothers Gwyn.
Brothers Gwyn.